You wake up some mornings and you already feel it. That heaviness in your chest, that quiet voice in your head telling you to take it easy today. It whispers that you've earned a break, that no one will notice if you coast a little. That voice is lying to you. That voice is the same voice that's been holding you back your entire life. Every time you've said, I'll do it tomorrow. Every time you've said, I'm tired. Every time you've said, I deserve rest before I've earned it. That voice is one. When I say, stay hard, I'm not talking about your body. I'm talking about your spirit. I'm talking about the part of you that doesn't fold when it's cold, when it's dark, when you're alone. Staying hard means becoming the kind of person who does what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it, because that's where real strength is born. You see, anybody can train when they're motivated. Anybody can show up when the sun's shining and the music's loud. But when the world is silent, when your legs hurt, when your mind is screaming for comfort, that's when the real ones show up. That's when you prove to yourself what you're made of. The difference between those who talk about success and those who actually build it is simple. When they feel weak, they keep going. Most people never learn how to fight that weakness because they avoid it. They hide behind excuses. They say, I'll start when I'm ready. Let me tell you something. You will never be ready. There's no perfect time, no perfect mood, no perfect plan. The only time is now. The only way is through. The pain, the fatigue, the fear. That's the path. The mind wants comfort, but growth lives in discomfort. When I was at my lowest, when I felt like I had nothing left, that's when I found who I really was. Because pain strips away everything fake. Pain doesn't care about your resume or your reputation. It shows you the truth. It shows you whether you're built for the storm or only for the sunshine. Every time I felt weak, I reminded myself, this is the moment I've been training for. Anyone can move forward when it's easy. Champions are made in the moments that break everyone else. Staying hard means being brutally honest with yourself. It means looking in the mirror and calling yourself out when you're slacking. It means not waiting for anyone to motivate you, because motivation fades. Discipline doesn't. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire that never dies. You build it by doing the small things you don't want to do. Every single day. When it's raining and you don't want to run, that's when you run. When you're tired and want to sleep in, that's when you get up. When you feel weak, that's when you fight. There's a war going on inside you, between the part that wants comfort and the part that craves greatness. Every day, one of them wins. Every decision you make feeds one or the other. You can feed the weakness or you can feed the warrior. The warrior inside you doesn't care about how you feel. The warrior only cares about the mission. And the mission is to become the hardest, strongest version of yourself, not for anyone else, for you. When you feel weak, you've got to remember something important. Weakness is temporary. It's a signal, not a sentence. Your body says, stop, but your mind decides whether you listen. Most people let their feelings dictate their future. Champions dictate their feelings. They use pain as fuel. They see fatigue as a test. They see fear as an opportunity to grow. Every rep you take when you're tired, every mile you run when you're hurting, every second you keep moving when everything in you wants to quit, that's a deposit into your account of resilience. One day when life hits you hard, you'll be glad you made those deposits. People ask me all the time, how do you stay motivated? I don't. I stay disciplined. Motivation is unreliable. It disappears the second things get hard. Discipline is what gets you up when motivation is gone. Discipline is what drives you when you feel weak. You train your mind to stop negotiating with comfort. Because the second you start to negotiate, you've already lost. There's no secret to toughness. It's not a gift you're born with. It's built brick by brick through suffering, repetition, and consistency. Every day you show up when you don't want to, you lay another brick. Eventually you look back and realize you've built something unbreakable. Pain is the most honest teacher you'll ever meet. It doesn't sugarcoat anything. It exposes your limits and then dares you to push past them. When you feel weak, don't run from the pain, lean into it. The pain isn't there to punish you. It's there to prepare you. It's forging the version of you that can handle anything. You can't buy that strength. You can't fake it. You have to earn it through suffering. There were days when I ran until my legs gave out, when I studied until my eyes burned, when I pushed so far beyond comfort that I thought I'd break. But I didn't break. I built. Every drop of sweat, every failure, every sleepless night, they became the foundation of my strength. When you understand that, weakness becomes your training partner, not your enemy. You want to quit? Good. That's the moment to keep going. Because that's when you're about to grow. The mind will always look for the exit, but you have to train it to find the door forward. Every time you finish what you started, you're rewriting your story. You're teaching your mind that you are in control, not the pain, not the fear, not the doubt. The truth is, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to give you the life you dream of. You have to earn it. You have to build it from nothing. And when you feel weak, when it feels like everything's stacked against you, that's when your character is on trial. That's when your story is being written. Stay hard. Stay in the fight. Don't stop until you're proud. And even then, keep going. You ever wonder why some people seem unstoppable? It's not because they're stronger, smarter, or born different. It's because they learned how to keep moving when every fiber of their being screamed to stop. They understood one of life's most brutal truths. Your mind will always quit long before your body does. The body is capable of so much more than you think. It's the mind that sets the limit. When I first started running, I was broken, overweight, insecure, and full of excuses. I could barely make it around the block without gasping for air. My legs burned, my lungs felt like they were on fire, and my mind told me to quit every second. But somewhere inside me, a voice whispered, "Keep going." It wasn't loud, it wasn't confident, but it was there. And every time I chose to listen to that whisper, instead of the screaming pain, that voice got stronger. That's how resilience is built, one small decision at a time. You can't fake mental toughness. You can't talk your way into it. You have to earn it in the trenches through sweat, pain, and perseverance. People look at success like it's a gift. It's not. It's a byproduct of countless moments when you chose to keep moving forward while everyone else stopped. The world doesn't reward comfort. It rewards endurance. The truth is, the moment you feel weak is the most important moment of your journey, because weakness isn't the end. It's the beginning. That's the point where the average person gives up and the warrior wakes up. Every single time you push through, you're not just building strength, you're building identity. You're teaching yourself that you're not controlled by emotion. You're not defined by pain. You're guided by purpose. There will be days when you feel like nothing's working, when your effort feels invisible, your results non-existent, and your motivation drained. Those are the days that matter most, because those are the days that separate the temporary from the timeless. Anyone can push when there's applause, but what do you do when there's silence, when nobody cares, nobody's watching, and nobody's cheering? That's when your real training begins. You have to become addicted to self-improvement, obsessed with getting better, no matter how you feel. The grind is not glamorous. It's brutal, repetitive, lonely. But that's where transformation happens. That's where you meet the version of yourself that most people will never know. The one who doesn't stop when tired, but stops when finished. When you're in pain, You have two options: surrender to it or use it. Pain is energy. You decide how to spend it. You can spend it complaining, or you can spend it creating strength. You can waste it crying, or you can invest it in becoming someone who never needs to cry again. Every rep, every step, every struggle is building a foundation that can't be shaken. You see, people quit because they believe pain is permanent, but it's not. Pain passes. Quitting lasts forever. When you stop just because you're uncomfortable, you train your mind to surrender every time things get hard. You become a slave to your weakness. But when you keep going, even when you're weak, you teach yourself that you're stronger than your feelings. That's where freedom begins. Staying hard means you stop making excuses for yourself. You stop telling stories about why you can't and start asking how you can. You stop waiting for perfect circumstances and start creating results in imperfect ones. You take ownership of your situation, even when it's unfair, especially when it's unfair, because life isn't supposed to be easy. It's supposed to test you. The only way to pass the test is to stop avoiding the struggle and face it head on. I remember nights when I'd stare at my shoes for 30 minutes before a run. Every part of me said, "Not today." My body was sore, my mind was tired, my motivation was gone, but I laced them up anyway, because I knew something: if I gave in once, I'd give in again. Quitting becomes a habit. So does perseverance. You decide which one you feed. You have to realize that progress isn't always visible. Sometimes you're grinding for months, even years, and it feels like nothing's changing. But it is. Every moment of effort is chipping away at the old version of you. The results don't always show on the outside. Sometimes the transformation starts within. You're building a different kind of strength. The strength to keep showing up when no one believes in you. When you feel weak, you have to learn to talk to yourself differently. The average person listens to their feelings. The warrior gives orders to them. You can't let your emotions dictate your discipline. Your feelings are like weather. They change every day. But your purpose has to be the rock that doesn't move. You tell yourself, "I don't stop when I'm tired. I stop when I'm done." You tell yourself, "Pain is the price of progress." You tell yourself, "Weakness is a choice, and I choose strength." There's a level of peace that comes from doing hard things. Not because the struggle disappears, but because you stop running from it. You embrace it. You realize that the pain you've been avoiding is the exact pain that's going to make you unstoppable. Every hardship, every rejection, every failure, it's preparing you for something greater. When you keep going, when you refuse to give up, you start building a kind of self-respect that no one can give you and no one can take away. You start looking at yourself differently, not as a victim, but as a fighter. You realize you don't need approval, you don't need applause, you don't need permission. All you need is purpose. And your purpose becomes your anchor. When the storms hit, and they will, that anchor keeps you grounded. When you're tired, when you're scared, when you're weak, your purpose pulls you forward. That's why you have to find your reason, your why. Because when your why is strong enough, your how will follow. Most people fail not because they can't, but because they don't stay long enough in the fight. They tap out too early. They let temporary pain make permanent decisions. But if you can outlast the discomfort, if you can survive the storm, you'll come out stronger than you ever imagined. Stay hard doesn't mean you don't feel pain. It means you don't let pain control you. It means you feel it, you face it, and you keep moving anyway. That's the mindset that changes lives. That's the mindset that creates champions.